Hey everyone, this is Hunter. This is my video portfolio for asset production. Basically, I'm going to go over every single worksheet slash assignment that I have worked on throughout asset production, and basically talk about what I did in the assignments. So this one is the worksheet 2. Basically, this was getting to know all the models right here and getting to use all the move and scale tools. So what I did is that I basically have it made like a little like mini snowman like head. I used a cube for the base. I've scaled it up to where it's like a big head. I use two spheres as the eyes. I made them wider to make them a little bit more cartoony. I used a cone for the nose, and what I did is I rotated it 90 degrees and just moved it to where the cube was to make it look more like an actual nose. The torus down here, or the donut, I scaled it down and made it look like a mouth. And then both these two cylinders, I stretched this out and squished it down to make it look like the bottom of the top hat. And then this cylinder right here is for the actual like top hat itself. All right, so for worksheet 3, we had to create a object that was in our living area, so my dorm, and I decided to make a Luigi hat because I do have a Luigi hat. I have a picture on screen right now of it. And basically I wanted to recreate it in Maya. And this big thing was basically moving like the vectors of the the poly models. So what I did is I for this sphere right here, I basically pulled the bottom vector up to make it more like an actual hat itself. In the cylinder, I also moved the vector graphics of the side of it up to make it look more like an actual hat. I know it's like clipping it a little bit, but that's just because I'm new to Maya and stuff like that. And I also made these cubes more into the rectangle to make it have a more to make it more like an actual L shape for the Luigi logo. All right, for worksheet 4, it was focusing on the deforms that Maya has. So this one was elongating it and twisting the cylinder. These two were for basically copying each other, and this one was slanting the vector graphics to make it more like an actual like ramp itself. All right, this one was focusing more on textures and modeling. So what I did here was we had to make a basically it's a couple of objects that were in a certain location. So what I did, I decided to make some fruits from from like a fruit market. I made a basket made out of the wooden texture to make it look more realistic. The bananas are with color a yellow coloration. The apple and the stem are different coloration as well, and the oranges are with an orange coloration with a different texture as well. Alright, so here is the hypershade for the assignment 4. The banana is a anisotropic uh, material to give that more like more glossy like coloration. The orange is Lambert with a little bit of a unique texture to give it that little like orangish like brown spots on them. The stem is also just a dark brown Lambert as well. And the apple is a fawn coloration to give it that nice like apple like shininess. Then the basket is a Lambert color a with a wooden like texture as well. So next up was the first assignment given to the class, and basically what Dr. Lejeune wanted us to do was to create a controller. Well, I'm sorry, to create a living object in our dorm, and basically like learn everything that we learned so far to create it. And so that I've made a Xbox controller. So I use I basically twisted and deformed the thumbsticks to make it more like actual like thumbsticks. I colorated the I colored the buttons, the controller itself, and like all the buttons of it, like all the buttons and like joysticks and stuff like that. Give it more like an actual like Xbox coloration. Then the white right here, like, it has like a nice like glow white button right there for the actual Xbox button itself. Here's the hypershade for the assignment. All of the buttons use a blinn like material just to give it a nice nice little shine to them. The controller the controller colorations are Lambert to make it less to make it like less shiny because the controllers aren't really that shiny at all. And the Xbox logo, like the light on the Xbox logo, is a Fong to give it the shiniest look. Because whenever, if you ever turned on a Xbox controller in your life, the Xbox button glows when you turn it on. All right, on to the next worksheet. This is worksheet 8, and this focuses on light, basically different like the different lights that Maya has. So what I did is basically the assignment was to make something that people enjoy. So I kind of made a cloud with a little raindrop on it because I don't know if like, I really like listening to like rain and stuff like that when hitting like the window or something like that while trying to fall asleep. But also I made this raindrop look and the cloud with the bevel feature in Maya, which allows you to create your very own like shape itself. So I basically made a teardrop, a water drop, and I made a cloud on top. Then the point light is right here. That is basically what it's doing is that it's shining the light on top of the cloud to give it a more like cloudy, to give it like more light and stuff like that, and give it to have like a more like white like texture, cloudy. And then there's a directional light right here that is aiming at the raindrop right there. Basically, have it look like show off the different coloration and stuff like that they have. So as you can see, if you turn behind the raindrop, it is not as bright as the actual other side. And if you look up on the rain cloud, it also is a dark coloration because the point light is aiming at the top and not at the bottom at all. Now here is the hypershade for uh, worksheet 8. So only thing that's really different is that for the cloud material, I used a nice little like cloudy like texture to give it more make it more like an actual cloud itself. Okay, next up it was the midterm assignment. So basically, uh, the teacher wanted us to work on a scene with everything that we've learned previously in previous assignments slash worksheets. So I made like a little cafe like area. I used like textures and materials for like the walls and like the coloration of all like everything inside the place. The chairs have been deformed and smoothed out to give them a more unique looking a more unique looking appeal. I used the bevel you see the bevel circle right here to work to use make these little decorations on the walls. I kind of make them like into coffee beans. And then for the light, I used a directional light right here to kind of make it like look more like uh, to show like the inside of the actual location, the lighting, and then I needed two spotlights on the lamps right here to give it like an actual like spotlight looking son of it. I also made basically donuts with plates on top of it on it. There's little mugs, a little coffee inside it as well. I hollowed out the inside of the mug to allow the coffee to come to basically go in. And then there's like little containers that have coffee inside of them. So here is all the textures that were used, or materials as colors that were used for the midterm assignment. The reason why there's a lot of plastered or like repeated ones is because I did copy and paste a lot of the like material, like some of the objects and stuff like that, and for some reason they decided to also basically add on to the hypershade as well. So the foreground I used a kind of checkered board like um texture make it look basically like an actual like floor that you see in a cafe. Then also for the roof, I also used another texture that kind of has like a little mountain like look to it because fun fact, I used to work at a cafe shop and they had the roof that looked exactly like that. Then the silver was for the coffee containers. Walls was the wooden texture. Donut, I used a very similar texture to this, but made it look more like an actual like old fashioned plain like donuts. The seats have a like glossy look with a texture, another like checkered like texture to give it more like unique to make it look more unique. And yeah, here's the countertop as well. Basically like a black like fong to make it look more glossy, like an actual counter itself. So next up was worksheet 11 that was dabbling into animation in Maya. So at first we made like a little bouncy ball bounce, like a little right there. It does like go down and it stretches up. Basically what I did is that every single scene I did a little like shot. As you can see, like it moves down. There's keyframes, and once it hit like the scene 20 is when I added a keyframe that basically had it go to the bottom of the floor, and also like stretch out a little bit, have like an impact. And then it goes back around like level around like frame 40 back to its original state. Okay, next up is another animation thing that I've worked on. Basically, it is a guy who is going to walk up and basically wave hello. That's basically what it's going to be. Yep. I'm just going to slow it down a little bit. 40. No, hold on. One second. Alright, I changed it to 200 frames per second. But as you can see, the guy will walk up and just do a little wave to say hello. So that's basically what the animation was. Okay, next up is worksheet 12. And this is when we started working on skeletal structures. So here I basically made all the joints that skeleton has. As you can see to the right, there's the spine, right leg, and left leg, and even with the spine and stuff like that, there's also the neck, the right arm, and the left joint with hands as well. Then the legs also has the foot joints as well. Alright, so for this assignment, uh, the teacher also wanted us to make a little person with some poses. So for right here, I made a like bird kind of thing, just waving hello while also walking up as well. And so for the second pose, it is him kind of like the bird kind of bending down. So basically, I made a skeletal structure that is inside the cylinder right there. Basically, the cylinder is the body. There's different like hands and legs and the neck as well. So when like I move the head and stuff like that, I can't really need to do the actual joint itself. So basically, like you see, there's like a little it moves around itself. Okay, next up was the rigging assignment. Basically, uh, first, the teacher wanted us to create a little a little model that has both a torso, legs, hands, and also a head with eyes as well. I decided to add the eyes. Next was basically working on the actual skeleton itself. So we had to basically put all the hips, the shoulders, and the legs kind of like separated, just so we can create the skeletal structure later on. So that's the spine right here. Those are the two shoulders, and those are the hip/legs right there. And so for at the end of the rigging assignment, the teacher basically wanted us to create, basically like add both the model and the skeleton together into the actual rig itself. We're using the bevel, like the like NURB circles to kind of like show off the different like joints and stuff like that, and basically have it so that they're connected and move the NURBs to kind of like have it move the actual thing itself. I kind of messed up on on the arms by accident because I accidentally did it on two joints for one model rather than having basically like two arm models. I accidentally did one arm model for the joints, so that's a mistake on my end, sadly. And then finally, this is uh, the final project worked on in this class. Basically, it was to create a full-on scene with a couple of characters, have it animated, and just have a bunch of like props and stuff like that. So I decided to basically create this nice little like outdoorsy place with a nice little picnic and a picnic basket. We have a pineapple called Mr. Cool Pineapple. This was actually my one of my original like characters that I made when I was a child, so I wanted to relive him as one of the characters. And I got also a little bird right here as well as another character. So basically, the animation is that the bird is going to peck at this big tree right here, while Mr. Cole Pineapple is going to take a bite from an apple, the apple that I used previously in assignment 5. So let's look at the animation. There it is. Again, just the pineapple, Mr. Cool Pineapple, just eating the apple with the bird moving his head, peck at the tree. And then here is all of the materials made during this assignment. And that is every single assignment that I have worked on during asset production. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later.